before you put anything together in terms of the terrain for a town called Despair, the first thing you should do is pull out the Building and Terrain Assembly Guide, open it to the table of contents and generally assembly notes, and thoroughly read both these pages. They will give you tips that you need to best put the stuff together so that you don't have any problems as you go through it. Best recommendation for me is go slow. And there are 3 extra tools I suggest that you have available. One is a roll of standard Scotch tape. One is a penknife or some small sharp object that you can poke out some of the small pieces with. And the third is just a bottle of your ordinary white school glue. And that's all you need. To assemble the hotel and saloon, it's a 2-part process. So we're going to do the first floor first. This is a 2-floor building. And the first floor is covered in steps 1 through 4 on page 10 and 11 of your assembly guide. Once again, all the parts and their locations on the different sheets are in the guide on the lower left, and everything in the hotel and saloon has a green outline on the punch boards. Makes them easier to find. All right, so let's look at the first floor. I'm going to take the floor itself, and then these walls will fit on either side. Just make sure that you get the opening on the front porch. And we're going to slide in the first slot, slide in the second slot, and then bend it slightly and slide in the third slot. Repeat that with the other side. Slide it in, slide in that one, and then we just carefully bend that down and that locks in. Okay, the back door, you want to make sure that the door handle is on the right hand side, and that says that in the instructions. Alright, we're going to slide that down until the tabs meet the back floor. Push one up, push one down, lock them in place, and then just use your fingernail and make sure that the tabs lock into the slots. Alright, last piece on the front door is on the first floor is the front wall. And this is one with the bat wings on it. If you look at the tops of the front floor, you'll notice that they have kind of a wavy construction where you see there's a dip here and a tab here and a dip here. Both the front floor walls will have that construction. That'll separate them from the second floor walls so you can spot them easily. Anyway, that slides down into those slots until you get the tabs hitting the floor. Push one forward, push one back, turn it over and make sure that those tabs seat into the slots. And there you are. There's the first floor of the hotel and saloon, which is actually the saloon. All right, on to the second floor, which is covered in steps 5 through 8 of the assembly guide. Now on this one, this is the one where you're going to need your roll of Scotch tape. So when you punch the slots out in the floor of the second floor of the hotel, you notice that I have not punched out these tabs here. Okay, they're part of the floor plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a small piece of tape, turn it over, and I'm going to put a small piece of tape over those tabs, which keeps them locked in place so they don't ever pop out. And you'll never see that. Alright, so then I'm going to take the floor and the 2 walls, and the instructions here say make sure that the one with the 4 windows goes on the left side facing me. So I put in the first tab, second tab, and then bend it slightly and put the third tab in. You'll hear it snap in. Do the same thing with the other wall. First tab, second tab, and the last one you just have to bend it down slightly and that locks in. Alright, you have 3 walls in the second floor of the hotel. Okay, the rear wall is the plain wall, right? And it tells you in the instructions that the window should go on the right hand side. So I want to turn around so the window goes on the right hand side facing me. I'm going to slide that down to the slot so the tabs hit the floor. Bend one up, bend one down, lock them in place. Like I say, you may just use one of your fingernails just to make sure that those tabs sit in there correctly. Alright, and then the front wall of the actual hotel is the one with the double doors. That slides down in there into the slots. Just make sure it gets seated and that the two tabs touch the floor. Push one tab up, one tab down, lock them into place, and with your fingernail just make sure the tabs seat in there correctly. Alright, and then the front of the porch and the one with the sign on the saloon goes into the very front slots on the front porch. That slides in. Until the tabs hit the floor. One tab up, one tab down. And once again, make sure your tabs seat in there correctly. And there's the second floor of your hotel. The second floor sits down easily onto the first floor using the tabs and slots there, and lifts off easily for if you want to move people up and down the building. And then the roof itself sits down on top of that. And there's your completed hotel and saloon.